Phones are undoubtedly an incredible creation. We can take calls, we can connect with people, we can take high quality photos, we can listen to music, we can access the news, we can play addictive games, we can do so much on our phones. But how incredible an invention this is highly dependent on how we decide to use them. Social media addiction is a new normal. Millions of people spend hours of their time on their phones every single day, and we just are very dependent on our phones. I think it's really important to be mindful of how we're using them, and in this video I wanted to share with you how I use technology to be productive and study, as opposed to it being something which takes away my time and stops me from being productive. Like anyone, my use of social media is sometimes very questionable, and sometimes I do spend way too much time on it and I get stuck scrolling through Instagram and I really regret it afterwards. But on the whole, I would say that I use technology in such a way that it's able to help rather than hinder. So today I'm going to be showing you the productivity apps that I have, and also the Chrome extensions I have as well. Hopefully you find this video helpful. Lots of people have been requesting it, and I have some really great apps to share with you. I use Trello on both my phone and my laptop, and it is the main app I use for organising things and keeping on top of projects. Trello is built in such a way that it's really easy to organise your tasks. I like to separate elements of my life into boards, and then on each of these you can have specific sections. So for example, I've got a board for university and I have different sections for different modules. I will use it to track assessments. So there's a section for your description where I will just put the assessment details, and then you can add mini to-do lists. So I just add these for all of the things I need to do for the assessment. It's a really great thing to keep different larger to-dos separate from each other. It just allows for a more complex to-do list than a single list can offer you. I also use it as my main YouTube planner, so all of my video ideas are on this board here. I will write down any video requests here, and then I can transfer them between the different sections. And with the sections and elements, you can drag different to-dos between them, so you could have a system where it goes like to do, working on, and then completed. Okay, so the second one I want to recommend is To Do. It's just a really simple, easy to use app and website. I mainly use it on the computer, but I also have the app on my phone. When you've completed a task, tap it, and it basically works like a written weekly plan, because you can set to-dos for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all at a glance. You can just go on there and just write your to-do list for the whole week. And then you can also move tasks easily between days of the week if you realise you don't have time to complete it one day. With this one, it is paid for. You pay £2 a month. Next is Moments. It's a way to keep better track of your screen time and make sure that you're not spending too much time on your phone. It just gives you more detailed analytics of how much time you're spending. But the thing I really love about Moment is that it gives you notifications to tell you how long you've spent on your phone that day and how close you are to your ideal limit on screen time. So I've found this really helpful, because when I see that notification, I'm more likely to put my phone down and be reminded that I shouldn't be on it. So the next app is ATracker, and again this is one that I haven't really used yet, but I wanted to include it because I think it could be helpful and I do plan on using it a lot more. You can use this to track how long you're spending on different things each day. So you can set different sections of tasks. I think for the free version you can have 5, and so when you start studying you just click it and it starts a timer. When you go on to eating lunch you just click eating, and then it tracks that time, and then at the end of the day it will show you where your time went and do it in a pie chart, so you can see how much time you spent on different things in your day. It helps you realise where your time is going. The next app is Rain. This is great for those days when you really wish it was raining. I always find it's easier to focus and study when it's rainy outside. So for those days where you still want to feel cozy, you want it to be raining, you can make these little ASMR soundscapes for yourself, which you can play in the background. You might choose to combine like the rain original with a crackling fire and thunder cracks, and there are loads of different options. So the next app is Todoist. I use Todoist to track all of my more miscellaneous to-do lists. So there's an option to add loads of different lists. You can easily separate to-dos into sections and folders, which I like, and within specific tasks you can have checklists, which I always think is useful. The main thing I use Todoist for is my admin list. Sometimes, like maybe every day, every other day, I will sit down and give myself half an hour to just do random admin tasks. I have a long list on Todoist of admin tasks at some point I need to get done, and most of these aren't time sensitive, but then when I give myself this half an hour, I just go through and I can just make my way through this admin list, and during the day, just as things come up, I will add them to this Todoist digital list. Next is Done. Done is a habit tracker. There is a free version for Done, but you can only add 3 habits, and so I actually upgraded to the full version, which was £9, which is very expensive for an app, but so far I am glad that I upgraded. So this is the app, and as you complete the different habits that you've set for yourself, you just tap it. It's a great way to keep you accountable and make sure that you're working towards building or breaking habits. And you can look at graphs and track your progress, see how often you're completing your tasks. I would be very surprised if you hadn't heard about Forest already, but if you didn't know, it's a great way to keep off your phone when you're studying and stop yourself from getting distracted by notifications. So you will plant a virtual tree and set a timer for how long it's going to grow, and the length of time that it's growing is the length of time that you can't go on your phone. And if you go on your phone before this timer is up, then your tree will die. So it's a really great way to, prevent yourself from going on your phone, and it can be very addictive because you want to unlock all these trees and grow a great forest. The next one is a really simple one. It comes with every single iPhone, which is Clock. I love being able to set timers on here because Parkinson's law says that a task will elongate to fit the length of time that you set for it. So if I set timers when I'm working, I am more likely to get the tasks done quickly. So I use the timer a lot. I also like to use it to set a stopwatch to see how long tasks are taking me and to track how long I'm spending studying some days. If you've watched a lot of my videos, you will be very familiar with this screen. This is Momentum, and I actually do have a subscription to Momentum Plus, which I've had for 2 years now, and I've only recently maybe stopped using it as much as I was before, so I probably won't renew the subscription when it comes back around. This screen automatically opens whenever I open Google. You can add lots of to-dos, you can set your main focus for the day. I also love that you've got this really nice landscape picture, and then it also gives you a motivational quote. So today's is, "You cannot swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shore." So at the moment, the main thing that I use Momentum for is if I've only got an hour to do something, if I'm going out in an hour and I want to get some bits done but I don't have very long, then I will just jot down like the 6 things I plan to do in order before I leave. And yeah, that's the main thing I use it for because it's really easy for jotting down really quick to-dos. I would recommend it. I think it's a really great platform. Next, Alarmy. Alarmy is the app I use to wake up every morning. It's an alarm app, it's free. You have to do a task to turn off the alarm, so it actually gets you awake and up as opposed to just, blindly fumbling for the phone to turn it off. The one that I do is scanning a barcode. I've got to get out of bed and scan a barcode on my book every morning if I'm going to turn the alarm off, and it always gets me up. So this app is literally, if you want to start waking up early, I cannot tell you how useful this app is. I really wanted to include Out of Milk on this list because I found it last year and I really found it helpful at university, and we've been using it at home as well. This is for tracking food shopping. So you make a pantry list where this is all of the things that you always want to have in, and then when you run out, you can easily just move this over to your shopping list. So it's just it's literally the best food shopping list method ever, and you can also sync it between family members, which is great. I would be very surprised if you hadn't heard of this next one. This is Quizlet, which is spoken about so much in the study community. You can make digital flashcard sets, and it's so much quicker than making them by hand, and it's great that you can just sync them between devices. You can access them anywhere, which I love. I used Quizlet for all of my A-level revision, pretty much all of my GCSE revision, and I use it still all the time at university. These next 2 things are iPad apps. This is the iPad I have, and I also use the Apple Pencil. It is the original iPad, and it's the one advertised to students, so it's compatible with the Pencil, but it's a lot cheaper than the iPad Pro. The 2 apps I mainly use are Goodnotes, which is a virtual notebook, and you can write in it with the Apple Pencil, so this is a great alternative to bringing paper and pen to lectures. You can take digital notes, but you can also draw diagrams and things. I'm pretty sure Goodnotes I did pay for. It's under £10. I think it's definitely worth the money if you're buying the iPad. And the other thing I use is just files or books. Yeah, I knew I was going to have loads of readings to do at university, but I didn't like the idea of printing off hundreds of pages a month of readings, so I can just download these to the iPad and then I can annotate them and highlight them as I would if I'd printed them off. So this saves me using a lot of paper, and those 2 apps are the main reason that I actually decided to get the iPad. And even though they're the two things I really mainly use the iPad for, I have found that it's really useful because I do use both of those a lot. The next one I want to mention is Perlego. I have been sponsored by this brand in the past and my subscription has been gifted to me, so do keep that in mind. But I do use Perlego a lot when it comes to studying. Basically, it's a digital archive of thousands of textbooks and non-fiction books which can help with research for essays. And the thing I really love about this is that you can go through and highlight and annotate these books, and then it collates all of your annotations in a single place, which you can then go back to and then refer to this information when you're writing an essay. I find it's a really helpful platform when doing research for essays, and I would very much recommend it. The next app I like to use is Kindle, and specifically I like to use the desktop version. So basically on Kindle you can download some books for free if they are, you know, in the public domain, and so you don't even have to pay for them. So for example, I wrote an essay on Great Expectations and I just used the free Kindle version to go through the book and make annotations and notes, and Kindle literally is the best platform when it comes to easily compiling your annotations, making your way through notes. I love how you can just search for any keyword in the book. I just find it's a really versatile, easy platform to use, and if you're an English literature student, I really think that Kindle is worth downloading on your laptop. So I actually take all of my notes on Google Drive because you can basically make an unlimited number of documents, and I love that you don't have to worry about it backing up and saving. I am always worried when I use a Pages document or Word that I'm going to accidentally not save it and then lose my work, whereas with Google Drive it all updates automatically, saves to the cloud, and also you can go back and review your edits and changes that you made right from the beginning of the document, which is actually so handy. I only use Drive, I don't even have Word downloaded on my laptop. The next one I just want to mention are two Chrome extensions which I will use when I'm taking notes. Here is a paper on spiritual particularism. Beanote allows you to highlight web pages, and you can color code these, you can add annotations and notes, and then you can just go up in the corner and see all of your annotations and highlights. The other one is called QuickNote. This is such a simple idea. It's just this little text box in the corner, and whilst you're doing research you can just jot down really quick notes. These next things are productive things you can do on your phone. Hello Lola! So first of all, Audible. I like to listen to Audible when I exercise. It's basically a way that you can listen to loads of audiobooks. I like to listen to self-help books and non-fiction books. It's actually on my dock, so I do use this a lot. Of course I have to include Spotify on this list, and I mainly use Spotify to listen to classical music when I study. I feel like it's a really great way to keep focused. I also love the TED Talks app, and obviously you can access TED Talks just online on YouTube, but this app is free, and the great thing about it is you can download TED Talks to watch offline and you can save ones that you want to watch later. I like to have this downloaded for long car journeys, for when I'm traveling and I don't have access to Wi-Fi but I want to learn something new, as a TED Talk will always help you to do. I just want to quickly also mention some online course websites that you might want to try. So FutureLearn is one that I've used a lot in the past. I actually used to be a FutureLearn ambassador at my school when I was in sixth form, so I have done quite a few of these courses and they're free, they're run by universities. The other one that I do use is Masterclass, which is where professionals will teach you their craft. So for example, I did one on conservation by Jane Goodall, I've done one by Atwood, I'm doing one by Neil Gaiman at the moment. There are so many things you can learn about on Masterclass. Masterclass is quite pricey, but I personally do really enjoy it. Next one is Blinkist. Again, Blinkist is a company that I've worked with before. I do have a gifted subscription to Blinkist, but I used it before I was sponsored by them. Basically, they condense books into 10-minute audiobooks, so it gives you the key bits of each chapter, and this is really great, I think, for non-fiction books and self-help books, so you can walk away with the key elements of text without having to read the whole thing. And I love reading, but also sometimes there are books that you just want to take the key information from, especially if you don't really like the writing style. Yeah, this is really good. I like to listen to it when I'm at the gym sometimes at university. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed watching it. I hope it was helpful. I hope you walked away with some good recommendations of apps. I will leave them mentioned down below as well if you missed the name of them. And yes, I hope that you have a productive week.